The Bearcat Basketball Podcast is now presented by the Healthcare Management Group. Shout out to everyone at HCMG, and thank you for the support. Welcome back to another episode of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former UC basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the legendary coach Bob Huggins, and I was fortunate enough to wear the iconic Jordan brand unis during my time. Now, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Alex_Meacham. Meacham spelled M-E-A-C-H-A-M. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Alex Meacham. On Snapchat, at BigMeach41. And thanks to our producer, Coach Stu Holt, I'm on TikTok, at Alex Meacham41. Bearcat fans, I'm excited to welcome in this former Bearcat basketball fan favorite. And when I say fan favorite, I mean with capital letters. He played from 2017 to 2021, was recruited by Mick Cronin, and played one season for John Brannon, and eventually transferring to Tennessee Tech. I would like to welcome in my guy, number 20, Mamoudou Diarra. Dude! What's up, my guy?
Not much. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me here.
Back in the Natty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just got back.
Yeah? How's it feel?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah? Did you bring the good weather with you? We got some good weather days here, man.
Yeah, I tried to. I mean, the first week, the weather didn't want to come with me, but, now it's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time we met?
Yes. I think we met my freshman year at this freshman conference. It was kind of like you were guest speaking.
Yes.
Guest speaker, yeah. So yeah, I remember you.
So, for the Bearcat fans out there, some of you all may know I go to the university every year and I speak to many of the student athletes, football, basketball, women's basketball, baseball. And one of my speeches, Mamoudou was there, and you came up to me after.
Yep.
We took a picture.
You got me a book.
And I gave you a copy of the book.
Yes.
Walk of a Lifetime.
Uh-huh.
Did you read it?
I did.
Did you?
I did read the whole thing. Even last week, I take a look at it again. So if you ask me a question, I might think about something. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So I got to quiz you. Let me write that down.
Oh, man. Let's not do that right now.
Page 39. No. Speaking of that, you told me before we got started here with the podcast that you actually listened to the podcast.
Yes, I listened to the whole podcast.
Wow.
From the beginning to where you guys were in the meals to now, I listened to all of it. Even the new one that just came out the other day.
Yeah,
I listened to it.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
I appreciate that, dude.
Sir.
So you enjoy them?
I enjoy listening to the podcast for sure.
Do you like hearing the perspective of other former players and just keeping up to speed of what's going on?
Yes, I definitely do. And then one of my favorite was the guy, I forgot his name, but he was talking about how he was being a leader on a team when everybody was going everywhere, right? So, and then my other favorite one was the one that this guy was talking about, how he came back to Cincinnati and started, his AAU team and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I forgot his name as well, but that was pretty good podcast that I listened to.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. And so tell everyone you're back in Cincinnati. Tell everyone what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I'm back in Cincinnati with my family. As right now I'm training kids.
So you training kids for basketball?
I'm training kids for basketball.
Okay. What area?
I'm training in Fairfield,
okay.
Ohio. So
yeah.
Sometimes I come into UC, but that's not all the time. But I train in Fairfield. There is the YMCA in there that I train there every other day.
Great, and you're giving back.
I'm giving back. I'm definitely giving back. That's something I wanted to do for a while. I wanted to be a coach from the first day I got here. After I get done playing basketball, mm-hmm. and then I would say like a month or 2 months after I was done with the basketball season, I just got this idea to start playing basketball because I thought I was done playing actual basketball, but I still got a couple more years before I get finally done.
Yeah.
But I'm still starting training guys, keep giving back. So to get myself ready before I fully committed to go 100% teaching kids how to play basketball.
And you mentioned too before we got started that you would like to start an AU program.
Yes, I do. I would love to start an AU program. Like I say, I've been a big fan of you. You didn't know.
Thank you.
So I've been a big fan of whatever you do. You AU program, you podcast and everything, and you book. I'm writing a book as well.
Really?
Yes, I'm writing a book. Starting an AU will be a dream come true for me.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and I'll help you any way I can.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I got some ideas.
All right. Yeah.
We'll talk after the podcast.
Sounds good.
Years ago, I just interviewed him, Armin Kirkland, who played basketball for UC. He played for UC. He's originally from Texas, and he wanted to start an AU program, and so he started here in Cincinnati, and I helped him. Just taught him kind of the ropes of AU and how to get things going, and then he moved back to Texas, and he's doing amazing, man. He has tons of teams.
Oh yeah, that was him. That
Yeah.
was him. Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
That was one of the ones you like. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that was
that's
him.
He's a great dude, and he's doing really well with his AU program. So I'd like to try to help you out in the same way. Give you some knowledge. Now let's not go past the fact that you said your family's here. So you have a daughter?
I have a daughter, and I have a fiance in here.
Nice. Now where's she from?
She's from Coldwater, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Coldwater, but yeah, she's from Coldwater, Ohio.
Yeah. So how'd you meet her?
Well, it was my sophomore year. When I was, I don't know. She was kind of my fan or whatever. hopefully she's not gonna listen to this podcast.
I like the way you said it. She was kind of my fan.
She was a fan. We met on social media. One day.
That's how it all starts, Mamoudou.
Yep. One day I checked my
DMs.
DMs.
She slid in the DMs.
She was there.
Good for her.
Yeah.
But it worked out for her.
It worked out.
Sometimes you got to shoot your shot, Mamoudou.
True that. So yeah, that worked out for both of us for sure.
So she slides in. This is like turned into a Dr. Phil episode, but she slides in your DMs. How did it ended up working to where you guys were? What's it about her that worked?
I got into college. She already has been in college. She went to Cincinnati. She graduated there from architecture design.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
She was in DAP.
Yeah, she was in DAP. So
smart. Smart.
Very smart.
Okay. I see what you're
I
doing
was
here.
in college, trying to figure out how things go and stuff like that. And then, I got her in my DM. I'm like, okay, well, let's make a friend now. So my freshman year, I was trying to make friends, and I made a lot of friends. But my freshman year, I was focused on making African friends more than American friends, if that makes sense.
Is there a large population of African students?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a lot of African in UC, especially I would say if you go 5 minutes, 10 minutes from UC, you will only see African there, a lot of Malians and Nigerian, Ghanaian, stuff like that.
I didn't know this.
And that was part of the reason why I came to Cincinnati. When I
was
came
because
here,
of that community.
Yes.
Okay.
When I came here for a visit, they took me to African Center in UC. There is an African Center in there.
I'm familiar with it.
So I went down there, and then I talked to I forgot the name of the old man that was there. That's the I think he's a leader or something like that. So I talked to him. I liked him very much. The way he was, showing me stuff about African culture and all those things got me to come here because I was in the States for I came here back in 2013, 14 in America, and then back then I was still looking for to see African community. I was looking for to see somebody that's from my place,
Yeah.
And then coming here for a visit and see those things got me to be okay, well, this is
for
where
sure.
I should come.
So, okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit as far as how you got to UC in terms of the recruiting process and all that. But back to your fiance, man. How did it? Yeah.
So let's go. Yeah, so after my freshman year, so going to my sophomore year, I decided to calm down, to be in a relationship.
Oh, you were out in the streets, huh? You were a little wild out there, dude.
Exploring college,
Okay. You had a lot of fans out there, huh, dude?
I did. Some fans. I did have some fans for sure, but yeah.
The humble brag. Yeah, I did. Okay.
Yeah, so I decided to really focus on the basketball because my freshman year was rough. I had to redshirt and all that, so I decided to just focus on basketball and focus on
settle down.
Yeah, settle down, and
And she was part of that.
She was part of that. She was the reason why I got through all my sophomore year, I would say, and mentally and everything. So, and that's why I kept it around. So, hopefully she,
don't tell her you're doing it.
Yeah, hopefully she won't listen to this podcast.
I can tell this is going to be a great podcast. I can already tell. Answer this question for me, Mamoudou. I've been in this city my entire life. I've been going to UC basketball games since I was 9 years old, and I've watched UC basketball my entire life. And I would put you up there as one of the fans' favorites. People just absolutely love you. Why is that, Mamoudou, do you think?
Man, I don't.
Have you thought about that?
Nah, I never thought about that. But I don't really know, to be honest. I feel like it is the fact that I go in a car and give my best and give all I got. I feel like that's the reason why, and I'm cool with everybody.
Yeah.
I don't, show people I play for UC. That don't mean like I'm bigger than anybody, or that don't mean like I'm more important than anybody else. So I just treat everybody the same, from people that work in the UC, cleaning staff to the head coach. I treat everybody the same.
That's
so
right.
I feel like that's the reason why. But other than that, I don't really know. I never thought about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think part of it is, I think there are many reasons, which we'll kind of discover here through the course of this interview, but I think one of the reasons is I think you seem like you were having fun out there. Like, I would watch games and, you'd be out there smiling, talking, and you would engage with fans after games. And I think, and I'll kind of use this kind of a transition into your story, but when you ended up coming back with Tennessee Tech to play at Fifth Third Arena, the fans were so excited to see you.
Yeah, I was.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I was shocked. Honestly, I wasn't shocked because I know UC fans, but at the same time, I was like, wow, this is something.
They were, and we're going to talk a lot more about that particular game here in a second. But
and I will say something about you, like you just say, going after a game and talk to people and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but, you come to speak to us my freshman year. You were like, the best way, to network people or to get people to consider you after basketball or after college is like to shake people's hand after games and stuff like that, because you never know who's in a seat or who's in a stand. So
absolutely.
I listened to advice. Honestly, that was the best advice.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you listened to that.
Sorry.
I think some players hear it, some don't. But case in point, like, you would engage with people after the game, shake hands, make everyone feel, important. And when you came back, people loved you because of how you made them feel.
Sure.
Right? What's the saying, Stu? People will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Is that right, Stu? So I think that's a large part to, why this community embraced you so much. This next segment is sponsored by the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Cincinnati. They have a new flexible bachelor's degree that will allow you to graduate conveniently and affordably. You won't lose any credit or have to start over. Now, Mamoudou, one of the things that I love about this podcast is that we give, former players or whoever I'm interviewing an opportunity to kind of tell their complete story. And the neat thing about this is I'll go back to the Armin Kirkland interview. There were parts of Armin's interview that I had guys that played with him, fans, people like, I never knew that about him. Mm-hmm. And he just never had the platform to kind of tell his story. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons that, I really wanted to get you on the podcast is I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone that has actually come from another country and come to the University of Cincinnati, played basketball. And it's one thing where, I've interviewed people that have come from California to Cincinnati, and that's a long way, right?
Yeah,
that's a big cultural difference. Corey Blunt came all the way from Monrovia, California, which is a different world from Cincinnati, and that was an exciting conversation. But man, to come from Africa, and we're gonna just kind of go through your entire story. So tell everybody where you're from in Africa.
So I was born in Mali, West Africa. West Africa.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people don't know Mali, but if you say Nigeria and Senegal, so Mali is close to Nigeria and then close to Senegal as well.
Yep.
So I was born there, and then I moved here to the U.S. when I was 15. I first moved to Napa, California. Yeah, so I was there for a year playing for Prolific Prep.
Okay, hold on. We can't. We got to go back to Africa because so many people that listen to this podcast have never been to Africa. I've never been to Africa. That's a trip that I would love to make one day. Tell us about growing up in Africa and like what's that like? What was it like for you?
Well, growing up in Africa, like Africa will teach you how to be adult and wise at a young age. That's what a lot of people like don't know. And even if you go visit Africa, that will open your mind more than like any experience here will open your mind.
Why are you thrust into being an adult so soon?
Because of a struggle. So Africa will teach you like real life struggle at a young age. Like your parents will tell you to go get money for them. Like not my parents. I was fortunate enough. I mean, we wasn't rich. We wasn't poor either. But
so were you like in middle class?
We were in the middle. We were in the middle. So even that, you have to help out with your family's like stuff. So sometimes your grandma will say, "Okay, I need some money. Go get the bucket of ice and go sell it." And I did that in Africa as a young kid. I went to throw trash. I would say like the dumpster is probably like 5 miles. Yeah, sometimes 3 miles as a kid.
So you'd walk that?
Yes, I got a barrel full of trash. Wow. I just go throw that in there almost every day, and then bring it back. But that's not it. The hardest thing about Africa. A lot of other people struggle in Africa. Really struggle for like they don't have food. Most people, don't have like even opportunity to go to school, which is the hardest thing. But I was, blessed to go to school.
Which is, so if you look at, let's take Cincinnati, for example, even those that come from inner city conditions, they still have an opportunity to go to free schooling. But you're saying in Africa, so many people don't even have an opportunity to go to school and learn.
You don't. Your parents gotta pay money for it. If the parents don't pay money for it, they're gonna kick you out. And a lot of people just drop out because their family can't afford to pay like $2, $3, a month. That's the biggest thing. But Africa is honestly great. To me, I think Africa is great because like of the way things are over there, and like it make you more appreciative of everything you get. So, and that's when I was here, I wasn't playing as much and stuff like that. Everybody was like, "Why you wasn't playing? Why you not mad?" I was mad, but I'm grateful to be here. So things like that. But Africa will definitely like one of the things like I learned from Africa. My family is a discipline. They will teach you discipline from a year like 5 to year 5, 7 years old. You will learn how to be disciplined from there to whenever to to whatever age you're gonna get.
And one of the things with you is you're so polite and well mannered. Is that part of the culture?
It is part of a culture. In Africa, I keep telling this story to people, and people think like sometimes like they don't understand like how things work. And then, that got me a lot. So when I first got here, I was scared to tell a coach or ask a coach a question because I think it's not polite to ask somebody like a question, that's older than you. But after I learned, like, in here too, I got in trouble for looking at the coaches, face to face. Like in America, the culture in here is like, if you're talking to somebody, you gotta look at them in the face, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a sign of respect. In Africa, you can't do that because that's disrespect. Yeah. So
okay, wait a minute. So okay, so you don't look the person in the eye?
No.
Like at all, or when you're having a tough conversation?
When you're having at all.
When
somebody is older than you, you have to, kind of like bow down, kind of thing.
I did not know this.
Yeah. So
did you know that, Stu? Cruzy? So why is that? First of all, we might not even get to basketball. I'm fascinated with like Africa. So why is that?
Yeah, so in Africa, we think that's a sign of respect. So like if your mom talking to you, like you listen like that, you talk to her, you listen like that, or somebody older than you, you don't look at them in their face when they're talking to you. You don't, and we think that's a respect. And when I got here,
oh man, you probably
when I got here,
culture
like
shock
I was
that.
I was like, man, this is all like different to me.
Yeah,
talking to somebody. What? Look at my face. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah.
I can see Mick.
Like, well, yeah,
look at me.
Mick do that. Coach Brennan do that. He say, you gotta look at me when I'm talking. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do that.
That's like, and that's people might think it's a simple thing, but that's a tough adjustment when you come from a culture where it's almost like I've played zone my entire life, and then now you're telling me I got to play man-to-man in a big-time basketball, right? It's like that. It's like it's a big.
It's kind of the same. It's a big change for sure. So I had to learn when I first got here. Let's still go back to Africa. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Africa.
Trust me, I want to hear all this.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
So yeah, growing up in Africa, it was not easy. I would say it was not easy at all, especially when I was young. I had, I grew up like my dad passed when I was a kid. I was like 5.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so
your dad passed away at 5.
Yeah, so I grew up, with my grandma.
Okay.
So my grandma raised me into, until now, like I knew my grandma as my father and my mom at the same time.
Oh wow.
My mom was around, but in Africa, the culture is different. So, if you have a kid, the kid has to go to the dad's side. If something happened to the dad, the kid has to go to dad's side. So the mom will go back to her house.
Wow.
So it was different. So I was living with my grandma. So on a weekend I go see my mom and stuff like that. But so it was tough. It was tough on me, but it was kind of easier as well because my grandma lived next to the basketball facility in their school. So the school and the basketball facility is like not even 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk. So that was the nice thing about that.
Didn't you have a relative that played pro? Was it an
yes,
aunt or somebody?
My aunt played.
You told me that in France.
My aunt played in France.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's one of the reasons why I play basketball. Yeah.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yep. She played for France.
She got you kind
of getting into a basketball.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I look up. Growing up, like watching her playing a lot. She played Olympic, and that's. I'm writing down my book, like the way like that thing, all these things works, or how I started was kind of like weird, but it was funny. It was good.
This is good. I'm liking all this. So obviously in Africa, soccer is big. Soccer is very big. Did you play soccer growing up?
I did.
Okay. What was your was soccer your main sport for a while, and then you transitioned to basketball, or were you like playing both?
Yeah, I played for I will say my whole entire life. I started playing basketball when I was kind of forced to, by my aunt. But at the same time, I don't think she forced me, but she was like, push me to do it most of the time. And I had my friends that tell me, man, you too tall, man, you just go play basketball. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go try, but yeah, soccer was definitely my sport. Soccer, even when I get here, you see, like almost every night I go play in the Shackley, with the other guys over there.
Do you really?
I do.
The soccer team?
I play with
or just the pickup soccer?
Pickup soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, since they don't have no more soccer.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
yeah, those same guys that were in the soccer team, I play with those guys at University of Cincinnati there. Yeah.
Okay, so what got you to the States? You said you started it in Napa?
Yeah, so I got in the state back in 2013-14. I got invited to the basketball camp, Basketball Without Border. I don't know if you know about.
Heard of it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I got invited to that South Africa, and then from that, I got changed to come to the state for full scholarship to come study and play basketball. I mean, at that time they don't call it basketball for scholarship; they call it exchange cultural. Yeah. So I was the exchange student, that got here through basketball, but at that time, they told nobody to say anything like that because that might get the prep school or whatever in trouble. So, but that's how I got here. So I got here. I was in Napa for a year. Like it was rough. So when I first got here, like I didn't speak English at all. Like I didn't know one sentence in English.
Wait a minute. Okay, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 3 languages.
3.
I do. French.
Obviously, French. Yeah. I figured that.
Bambara.
Who?
Bambara. That's African language.
Say it again.
Bambara.
Bambara.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then English. Yeah.
Okay. So you spoke 2 prior to coming to the States.
Yes.
And you learned English in the States.
I learned English in the States.
How'd you learn English?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, so I learned English through. I will say, but I learned English through church.
Really?
Like, yes, I'm not
like listening to the preacher. Or?
Yeah, so I used to love church because of music. Like I listen to music. I love music. Since Africa, I love music is what I love to like to.
Do you sing?
I don't sing.
Because we're forming a band. So Cruzy plays guitar, I'm piano, and Stu's a singer, right?
Yeah, I produce.
You
Wait, that's a funny thing though. But I produce for real.
Really?
I produce. Okay. I produce a couple songs for. I might put that song out one of these days. Jaren, I produce a song for Jaren. I produce a song for Trey Scott.
Whoa.
I produce a song for Jeremiah.
Wait.
Davenport, yeah.
So Jaren, Trey, and Jeremiah have some hip hop songs, some rap songs.
They have some rap songs.
Produced by Mamoudou Diarra.
Yes.
What's your producer name?
It's just Mamoudou. I do not have no other name, but yeah, I definitely.
Are these going to be? We need to debut these live on the podcast, by the way. So we're going. Yeah.
For sure.
Right. So back to the English. So you learn English through the church.
So I used, like I said, I love music. So I used to go to church with my host family in California and there. So I used to go to church, and there is 3 big screen in the church that I used to go. And then whenever they're singing, I look at the lyrics. They sing, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is that. And then I catch up a little bit with that. And then my host family, my mom is a teacher in high school, was a teacher. So she was an English teacher. So she got me watching cartoon. So I used to watch cartoon as 16 years old. So that helped me a lot learning English. And I think I started speaking English really good when when I only spent 6 to 7 months here. So it was not too hard, but it was not easy at all either.
And this is one of the questions I have. I've never asked somebody this that's actually learned, English at a later age, like you. So you were around 16 when you learned English. So was it tough to, once you learn English, then you have all the different areas in the country where, like, in the South, they speak a little different. New York is East Coast is completely different.
Yeah.
West Coast has its own little slang to it. Was that tough?
That was tough. That was tough. So I didn't know, like, so in Napa, it's all white.
Yeah.
It's all like winery, like all.
Yeah.
So from Napa, I transferred. I didn't transfer. Basically, I transferred. I would say I transferred. So I went to Missouri. So when I was in Missouri, they were like Jamaican. All like the school almost with Jamaican guys in the school or Caribbean guy. So they were speaking different, like they were speaking English, but it was kind of like funny, So I was like, man, this is getting me confused now. So like I thought I'm learning, I'm learning English.
Yeah.
So now like I don't know if I'm speaking English good or not. So they're speaking, that got me a little, But and then after that I moved to Huntington, West Virginia. So they got a little different accent as well.
Yeah, that's
and then
different there.
Yeah, and my senior year I ended up being in South Carolina. So all this was because of my visa. So I moved from one place to other places because I had visa issue.
Gotcha.
So and all the school were promised me, oh yeah, I'm gonna change your visa, I'm gonna fix your visa for you, but they never did.
They never did. So you had to move.
So I had to move. Yeah.
Wow, South Carolina. That's obviously a southern slang, and you had to get adjusted to that.
Yep.
But here's the thing, and Stu and I were talking about this on the last podcast. That so Thursday's my birthday. I'll be 46, and every birthday I try to challenge myself to learn something new. So my goal is to learn to speak Spanish fluently.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to learn to speak Spanish? Am I going to take actual lessons, take classes? I think one of the best things to do, and I ask your opinion on this, Mamoudou, is to actually like listen to people that speak Spanish and talk with them and get to know Spanish-speaking folks and kind of be around them.
Yes, I think you definitely need to have somebody to practice with, which is knowing somebody that's from Spain or Mexico or whatever.
Give me a little Spanish. Mamacita. Sorry, go ahead. Slide in my DMs.
Yeah. And then there is actually an app called Duolingo. I don't know if you heard of it.
Say it again?
Duolingo? Yeah, it's...
okay, I'm writing this down.
Yeah, Duoling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Duolingo. So that helped me a lot learning English. And then Rosalie Stone.
Yeah.
If you heard of that.
Yep, I have.
So, I used to go in there for like 10 and 15 minutes a day to just practice my stuff and then go out and act like I'm speaking English. But, those are the things I memorize, and whatever somebody else say, I would just say those things, But
how hard was it for you to understand hip hop? Because my mom can't understand a word that's like, I was playing Kendrick Lamar for her, and she's like, I can't keep up with how fast he's saying things.
Yeah.
She understands the words, it's just he's saying it at such a fast pace. Was that hard for you? Or were you listening to it?
Back home, yes. But back in Africa, I'm going to tell you something that nobody knows this, but they used to call me Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, dude.
They used to call me Snoopy, yeah, for sure. Back in Africa, because like I said, I love music, and then back in Africa, all my friends are like famous rappers over there. So, yes.
Say what?
My friends are famous rapping.
The famous rappers in
Mali.
Africa or just Mali or West Africa?
In Mali.
Mali.
Yeah. I know somebody. He live next to my house. It's like what, like 3 feet or whatever. So he's really like famous. So I used to like rap with them. I don't rap, but I used to be in the same like kind of like friend group with them, and then they got me that name. So, but we used to listen to like all the rap music and stuff like that. We thought we were American back then.
So is that a thing in Africa? Like, is American culture really big there?
Yes, yeah. In Africa, I would say everybody want to be American.
Wow.
Yeah, and then when I was in Africa, that's when I got to Napa, I'm like, man, this is not America. I didn't land in America
Napa's
yet.
not America.
Yeah, I see.
That's a different
I
America.
didn't land in America. Yeah, I gotta go to America for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was, we listened to a lot of Lil Wayne, Shampoo. Back then, there was like Shampoo, Shank Hickston.
Yep.
And a lot of other rappers. And Tupac was my uncle's favorite rapper. So yeah, we used to listen to all this stuff.
So who was the most, when you were growing up, who's like the most famous American that like everybody was it a rapper? Was it a basketball player, football player? Like who was the most famous American that everybody kind of?
So when I was in Africa, my uncles, like they thought they were American. They used to wear durags and all that. yeah. So
I love this. This is fascinating to me.
So back then there was Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes, yeah.
Busta Rhymes, yeah. So we used to listen to that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I used to hang out with them when I was a kid, but they used to listen to that. And then there was oh my God, I forgot. Nelly,
yeah.
Nelly was one of their favorites. And basketball-wise, everybody loved Jordan. They used to like play basketball. They used to act American while still being in Africa.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is wild. Okay, so this is good. So is South Carolina your last stop prior to the Bearcats?
That was.
So who at this time in South Carolina? Are you going to a prep?
I was in prep school.
Okay. Who's recruiting you at this point?
Well, before I went to South Carolina, I was committed to University of Washington. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, I was committed to University of Washington. I committed earlier.
Who was the coach there?
Coach Romar.
Oh, wow.
Lorenzo Romar.
You know what's crazy about him?
Uh-huh.
Do you know where he has his degree from, college degree?
Pepperdine.
That's where he coaches now.
Oh, where do you got it from?
University of Cincinnati.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
I'll show you online. If you look at his bio,
wow.
He went to the University of Cincinnati, but that's where he got his degree from. But
wow. That's crazy.
So you committed to Washington,
yeah.
But then you decommitted. I
decommitted because Romar and his coaching staff got fired, unfortunately.
Yep.
So when they got fired, I decommitted, opened up my recruiting again, and I started hearing from a lot of school. I wanted to go, but, I decided to go to Cincinnati because my sophomore year, I remember I didn't speak English at all or anything. Larry Davis.
Coach Larry Davis.
Yeah, LD. So he was recruiting me before I always heard. So like I say, I got a long story, but, I'm not going to sit down and talk about all those in here. But I got hurt. I tore my MCL back in California, so I didn't play until my junior year, and I played 2 weeks of AAU, and I got 20 offer or something like that. Yeah, so I didn't play at all. So I didn't play sophomore year, freshman year, or junior year. So I just played AAU, and that's it. And then I went to my senior year, something like that. But LD was still recruiting me, even though he didn't. I don't know how I was even good, because I don't know if he see me playing basketball or not. So he recruited me to come to Cincinnati, but I was like, man, I gotta go to Washington, because I had, this guy that helped me come here, advising me. So there was people advising me. When you're in high school, you got people advising you to go places or whatever. Especially like me by myself, coming here by myself, I didn't know nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, this guy is from my country, this thing, that.
Right.
So I'm gonna listen to him, and I did. I mean, it was.
And back to what you were talking about earlier, one of the things that attracted you to the University of Cincinnati was the African culture.
Yes.
That was there. What about Mick Cronin and your conversations with him?
Yeah, so after decommitting from Washington, I had option between Bob Huggins, right? Yes.
West Virginia.
So they were recruiting me because I was in Huntington Prep.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so I was there, and they were recruiting me.
Who recruited? Who was the assistant that recruited you? Was it Larry Harrison or Eric Martin?
I think it was Eric Martin.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Who really was, But yeah, so I talked to them a couple times, and because my friend went there, Sagawa Konate, so he was doing pretty good. And Sagawa told me like, this coach, he can be a good coach, but he's crazy. Man.
I love that.
He said he's crazy, man. But I went from a crazy guy to another crazy guy. I'm like, man, I'm unlucky. But yeah, Mick was good. A lot of people do. A lot of people visit school. Worry about like football, how football stadium is packed and stuff like that. Mine was like different. So I came to visit, asked me, make questions. How you see me in 2 years, 3 years from now. Like how you gonna use me? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? This is the crazy story too. Like nobody knew about this. It's for us. So before I get here, I had my AU coach, writing me like, I would say like 30 questions to ask Mick Cronin. So I took my phone every time. Like I look at my phone, I'm like this.
You're looking at the questions?
Yeah, I'm like asking Mick question. Mick to tell Larry Davis. Larry Davis was like this. He's asking too many questions.
He said that?
Yes. Yeah, so Larry came to me. Larry was like...
they red flagged him.
Yeah.
They were worried. You were asking too many...
Yeah. Larry was like, man, I think, like, Mickey's worried, man. Like, are you really, like, like, asking this question because you want to know, or you just, like, don't trust us? Because back then I didn't trust nobody, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
because,
you come from a different country.
You know what I'm saying? And then, the fact that all my high school was crazy because I was bouncing places to places, like without even my consent. So I didn't want, like, to go from California to Missouri, from Missouri to West Virginia, from West Virginia to South Carolina, without me, like I was being sent there. So basically, I have this guy called me, hey, pack your stuff. You're going to be leaving tomorrow. I'm like, okay. I pack my stuff. I'm in a different school. And after that, I'm like, man, I got to take my decision myself and, do my thing myself. So that's when, like, I started, like, not trusting people because I was literally here illegally for, like, 2 years without knowing I was here illegally.
Because your visa wasn't...
My visa wasn't good. So they got me a bad visa to get me in the country, to get me here. So I didn't know until I got a UC. They were like, man, your visa is messed up. This is fake visa. I'm like, how this is fake? And then they were like, well, and you remember I didn't go to Cayman Island my freshman year? Like the team went down there. That's because of that. And then from there, I didn't trust nobody with anything anymore. So me coming to school, I'm like, man, I don't trust nobody. So I start asking question, and then,
Well, let me ask you, that brings me to ask this question then. So coming from Mali to Napa, I mean, Mali's all African, right? There's not many white people.
There is some white people in there.
Few.
So
was it a culture shock to go to Napa, which is predominantly white?
It was a culture shock for sure. And then, Mali, you will see a couple white people, but they're there to learn music. They're there to learn how to dance, or they're there to learn his culture, or they like. But
they're not from there.
They're not from there.
They've come from somewhere else to learn the.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the only place in Africa where you see like white people from Africa is South Africa.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but in Mali, we all. Yeah.
Was that a tough adjustment? I mean, obviously, you end up playing at UC for Mick Cronin, a white coach, and was that an adjustment for you? From a cultural standpoint. I know you talked about the trust issue there. Was that a thing? I mean, being an African coming to America, it's like, I don't know about white people. I don't trust them. Was there some of that going on early on?
Not really. Because I play all in high school for white coaches.
Okay, gotcha.
So all high school I played for white coaches. So that wasn't a big deal at all.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk a little bit about Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So you get here to Cincinnati. What are some of the things when you initially got here, Mamoudou? What are some of the things you liked about Cincinnati when you got here?
Man, when I first got here, like I say, I had trust issue, right? So I didn't trust nobody. So, but I soon learned that like people are nicer than what I put in my mind, what I was thinking this whole time, right?
Yeah.
So when I first got here, the first year, I ain't gonna lie, I was a bad dude. I was like, to the compliance, to the equipment guys, to the coaches, even Mick. Like He told me to do something. Everybody was scared. I wasn't scared. Like whatever he said something, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this, whatever. But but I wasn't. I was not a good guy at all. But after I started like seeing people like in here are like very nice. People are like welcoming. They're trying to teach me stuff instead of like getting me like to do things they want me to do. They're trying to help me. Like the academy people, I thought they were like, BSing me all the time. They were like, man. But after, I'm like, man, this guy's helping me. Like literally, like
so you began to trust.
Yes,
people.
I began to trust people, and then I become to be like, okay, yeah, this is where like I really like we're looking for this whole time, because I've been here like 7 years, and I mean, I didn't have like confident to even go talk to somebody about my problem or whatever. But in Cincinnati, that got me like in a family vibe to to come talk to people or to ask for help when I need it.
Right.
Yeah. So the beginning was pretty good. Pretty hard, but it was good. It was good for sure.
Thoughts on Skyline chili when you first? Because that's like a big thing when people come from out of state. They'll come to Cincinnati, and you watch all the TV shows like the sporting event. Like I was watching the Super Bowl, right? And the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, and they're talking about Skyline chili and blah blah blah. So, but you coming from a different country, you have a different taste in some ways, probably with food. Did you eat Skyline chili?
I did eat some chilies, and it was good.
At first, we were like,
Yeah, I mean, when I first got here, so what my host family did was they took me to like buffet almost every day, to try different food to see what I really like.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then, so, my first time eating chilies, I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't like it because it made my stomach upset.
I'm sure.
Or whatever. But when I got here, everybody was keep talking about it again. I'm like, okay, let me just give it a try again. So, it was good.
Okay. I wanted to. Yeah, it's like a popular question. Is Skyline?
Yeah.
The Bearcat Basketball Podcast is now presented by the Healthcare Management Group. Shout out to everyone at HCMG, and thank you for the support. And as I talk about food, Mamoudou, for those Bearcat fans that follow you on social media, you're quite the chef. Chef Du?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I started cooking. I mean, like I say, the struggle got me become a lot of things that I never was or never thought I was gonna be. Coming to school, like especially prep school, that like you got like 20, 25, 30 kids in one place, and then like to have your own food or to have food that you like is rare. They're gonna make one food for everybody to eat it, no matter if you like it or you don't like it.
Right.
So for me, like that got me into cooking a little bit. I started like starting with the noodles. Let everybody know that in prep school. Whoever passed like prep school, you will need noodles. So ramen noodles, I used to mix that with like some eggs, and then buy some frozen wings, and man, that should be my like some of my stuff. And I used to like from prep school, I used to like do business over there. I used to like make some noodles and sell some.
You were selling noodles out the back door.
Sell some to my teammates and stuff. I mean, they pretty like it. And then after that, I came to Cincinnati now, and that I started watching my Fuji chef. You know who that is?
No, but I
Serge Ibaka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Serge Ibaka cooking show and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not start a cooking show myself?
Oh wow, I didn't know this. Okay, I thought you were talking about somebody else. Okay,
Yeah.
So,
Serge Ibaka is Mafusi. He call himself Mafusi. That's a name from his country.
Okay.
So yeah, from that.
So he inspired you to.
He inspired me.
Okay.
So I'm like, instead of just cooking myself and cooking for my friends, why not put on social media to see, what people gonna think about it?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was pretty good. A lot of people know that I'm a chef now, and even my old school, the Coach Pelfrey called me chef. He doesn't call me any name; he call me chef.
He call you chef?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
When you were in Africa, what was like your go-to dish? Like, what was their go-to food in Africa?
Yeah, we have a food in Africa called yassa.
Yassa?
Yassa. Yeah. So
what is that?
It's basically like chicken and onions, sauté onions, and then some rice. That's pretty good. I mean, if people in Africa make it, you be like, wow,
that sounds good. So how's the chicken prepared? Is it like?
Oh, they fry so they fry the chicken first. They seasoning it first, right? And fry it, and then bake it for a little bit, and then when the onion and olive and whatever is like, they put on in that pan.
My stomach just growled. Go ahead. I was
So
making me hungry.
So yeah, so they put that a baked chicken or fried chicken and bake to that pan and let it like cook together. And then they make a rice on the side.
You missed that.
I missed that. I mean, and that's another thing. And I wanted to say this for a long time in the podcast here. So like African their crew or whatever, Coach Wes Miller or whatever. Like if African know that there is African restaurant, there is like 3 different African restaurants in Cincinnati here, and then there is like a mosque that all African go. And there is like a lot of community stuff that African do here, and that's the reason why like Cincinnati is one of a good place to be, or a great place to be. But yeah, I get that whenever I feel like I gotta like
you go get that.
Yes, whatever I feel like I miss home.
So I'm gonna get after we finish the podcast. You're gonna tell me where the best restaurant to go to get this yassa.
Yassa. Yep.
I'm a big chicken guy, so
sounds good. There is a lot of different other dishes you can try too. Yeah, but it's pretty good.
You sold me on the yassa, dude. So I'm gonna get that.
Sounds good. Yeah, try.
So tell me about playing for Mick Cronin. I've had a lot of people on here that have either played for Mick, a lot of guys that played for Bob Huggins, but you played for Mick Cronin during an era. As I look back at it, you were 2017 to 21, but during that era in which you played with Mick, some really good teams. Some dogs, Jacob Evans, Gary Clark, Kyle Washington, Jaron Cumberland, Trey, I can go on and on. Some dogs. What was it like at that stage to play for Mick Cronin?
Man, that was, I still tell people, that was the best, basketball team I ever seen or play or be part of. That year, I think
2017.
17.
Yeah,
I think
that was your red shirt year.
I was red shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want to red shirt, but I was hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was a very good year with Gary Clark, doing his thing. Kyle Washington, like you said, Jaron, Jacob. It was. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say this right now. If it wasn't that good and we didn't win that many games that year, I would be gone. I would have transferred by then, because when I first got here, my freshman year, I was engaged. I was working out 3 times a day. I was in the gym 2 in the morning and stuff, and then just to play a couple of minutes, but. At the end, I was redshirting, which I wasn't expecting to redshirt, but by that time, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't good. I thought I was good, but I wasn't good with whatever.
In comparison to the team,
to the team and the way Mick run his stuff, right? So in high school, I knew defense to be in a gap and to have a courage to show courage and stuff like that. But with me, you have to stay open.
Yeah.
So for me to get that down, it took me a year to understand all those things, and then for that, like the experience we had in Wichita State, like winning a championship there, like winning all these games, like got me to like, okay, well, we're winning. So
yeah, and I tell fans, I don't care who, like, I know recruiting's such a big thing to learn about the new recruits coming in, and I get fascinated by the recruits, but I tell Bearcat fans, I don't care how good you are mentally, it takes you a year, sometimes a year and a half to get acclimated to college basketball. Am I right, dude?
Yes, you are right. I mean, like I said, I was pretty good in high school. I was averaging pretty good numbers, but yeah, it definitely took me a year to understand what really Mick want. And when I found out what he really want, then I was good, But before that, I was in a practice. I mean, I was not listening to whatever he said. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get buckets.
Yeah.
You're going to play me. But the game is going to start, you're going to be like, man, I don't trust you, man. You're not doing what I'm telling you to do. And after I'm sitting down, talk to him, go to the office all the time, asking him, what do you really want me to do? Because I'm confused. I said, man, I just want you to be simple, be calm, don't rush. Because like I said, everybody got different style of like coaching. So Mick, he doesn't want you to like dribble fast or play fast or whatever. He wants you to slow down. With other coaches like John Brennan, he want me to play fast. So I think, so for me to understand that, and for me to coming from Africa, so in Africa we play European basketball and American basketball at the same time. So we combine both basketball. We play fast and we play like style too. Like we play like movable and do all these things. For me, like it was American, but it was slow. So like, it was like pace game where like, you run a play, stop a game, run a play, do this, do that. And it works. He win a lot of games, So for me, it took me a year, but I'm glad it took me that year to learn. And I felt like I got better. That 1 year I wasn't playing, I got much better.
Yeah, and I know you redshirted that year, but that team in 2017, 2018 had a fantastic, season. That conference run, beating Houston, was a hell of a run. And I'm like, going in the NCAA tournament, I'm like, this could be the team that makes a Final Four run. And then boom, boom, we're playing Nevada. We're up. And then, no, not so.
Yeah, that day, that was my first time crying. With that, that was my first time ever crying, losing basketball.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't playing. Usually, you were like, like when guys play a lot of minutes and they know they give everything they got, and they lose, they're gonna be like, man, I give everything I got, and you got that emotion that's gonna come off you.
Right.
Then you're gonna start crying, right? But I was sitting I was clapping. I was like being a really good teammate, like cheering the guys up, talking to them, and bring them water if they need it. And then we lost, man. I could not take it, man. I went to the locker room. I see everybody crying.
It was tough.
Man, I cried a lot that day, man. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But that year, I thought we were definitely gonna be in the Final Four, or
I did too.
Maybe win. I think that is that year that Obama picked Cincinnati to be in the Final Four or to win the whole team. Barack Obama.
I would think if it was a year, it would be that year.
Yeah,
yes,
we
it
were
would have been
good.
that one.
We were pretty good.
Yeah, because
I'm very happy to be like, I'm blessed to be part of that team, for sure.
Yeah, taught you a lot. So let's use that to a segue to your, I guess it would be your redshirt freshman year, 2018, 2019. Now this season you played, you got in 20 of the 35 games the Bearcats played. The team finished 28-7. One thing I remember, I want to ask you your thoughts on this. You guys go into the new arena that year. It was the opening. It was Ohio State, right? Was the opening game for the new arena. That was a pretty hyped up game. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was. Man, that was one of the great games I watched as well. see the arena packed. It was kind of warmer than it usually is. Like, you know, when people are like, there is not a lot of people in the gym is kind of like feel like chilly or whatever.
Yeah, cool.
But that day, man,
It was hot.
I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but it was great.
Yeah, I wish we could have won that game. Again, I think we won the conference tournament that year. Lose first round of the tournament to Iowa. Right. So your redshirt freshman year, how was that for you personally?
It was good, but still challenging. You know, because so what a lot of people didn't see in that year was I was confused. I don't know if you noticed that or anybody else noticed that, but I was still confused my second year because of, you know, like I'm not used to like play. So this is what happened my redshirt freshman year. So I was practicing with the guys. Like I think Gary left this time, right? Gary wasn't there. Kyle wasn't there. They graduate. So I was competing with Trey and Nas and stuff like that. So and Leo. So I was trying to play 4. So this whole time trying to play 4. I'm trying to compete for Trey Scott position. I'm trying to get his minutes, some of his minutes. So I work really hard. You know, almost every practice or whatever. But in a game time, I'm practicing at 4 every day for a whole year. But in a game time, I play 5. So
it just threw you off.
So yeah, so that confused me.
Yeah.
So me trying to, you know, like trying to imagine like what this 5 man is gonna do. So I'm playing. I don't know the 5. I'm just running around like, you know, lost. And then, you know, I was playing as hard as I can, but I was still lost because that's not what I was practicing in. And then I did have like I would say 10 meetings with coach. I'm like, man, coach.
You had 10 meetings with coach?
Yeah, I had a lot of meetings with him. Every time after a game, I text him. I'm like, man, I was confused here today, man. Like, can you play me? If you can play me at 5, can you make me practice at 5? So that's, you know, I understand, you know, like the game or whatever. It's like, man, all I want you to do to help the team right now is go for every rebound.
Yeah.
Be a energy guy on the team. And that's what I ended up doing. But that wasn't me. That wasn't my game. That was not anything close to like what I came here for. But we won a couple games. So won a championship. So yeah. I was happy that happened.
28-7 that year. Did you want to leave at any point?
Yes, I wanted to leave after that. And I remember like Coach Savino can, you know, justify that or whatever. I used to go to him like whenever you're practicing. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get out of here, man.
You say that to him?
Yes. I was that mad.
Yeah.
I was that mad to like literally leave, like, you know. But I had like great people talking to me, a lot of people, and then, you know, like I had a good teammates like telling me, oh yeah, we understand how you feel and stuff like that. But that year, like, that's when Mick left too.
We're going to get to that in a minute.
You know, but yeah, I was like, man, this is not me. And then the funny thing he did, Mick is a great coach, don't get me wrong. He's a good guy. But he didn't play me, before the tournament, he didn't play me for 2 straight games at all. Even 1 minute he didn't play me. But in the tournament, he put me in the first half. First 4 minutes, 5 minutes, he played me. And I'm like, man, I can never understand this guy, man.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You know, I was literally like,
that's,
you know,
tough.
Yeah, the pregame meal, I will say the pregame meal. I'm like, let me enjoy the meal right now because I'm not gonna play. You know, I'm gonna eat as much as I can. I'm just gonna go and cheer for the guys. I wasn't ready. I mean, I was sitting down with my hoodies on and stuff like that, and sit on the bench. And now I got in the foul trouble. I thought he was gonna play E or Trey. He got me in to Luka. I'm like, man, I've been playing for 2 games, man. They play me at 5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I took like 2 shots, I believe. One almost didn't hit the backboard.
Oh, jeez.
That was pretty rough, man. I was like, man, I wasn't ready at all. But I guarded Luka for like a couple minutes. I think that game I played 6 minutes or 7 minutes total. he took me out that one time where we were scrambling basically, and then Jaren was supposed to go to corner because like the matchup zone we play is 2 at the top, so everything is switch. We switch everything, so the 5 men don't move. So which I was playing 5, so I was guarding Luka, not trying to let him catch a ball. And then whenever the ball get to a corner, somebody X out. So Jaren didn't X out, and then I ended up leaving Luka to trying to go contest one of their best shooter, Bonino or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He hit the 3, and Mick was like.
And he pulled you out.
Pulled me out. So I'm like, okay, well, I sit down. I'm like, I wasn't ready anyway. After that game, I'm like, man, I gotta go. This is not the place for me. I was frustrated because like the last 2 years, it got me sitting here, playing me at 5, where I never played 5 before in my whole life, but I don't mind playing 5 if the coach want me to play 5. So I was like, okay, if you're gonna play me 5, you want me to rebound, I'm gonna go for a rebound. But I mean, I never got a chance to show Mick what I really can do. That was something I'm like, wow. But when Mick left, the funny thing was I cried harder than anybody too.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like I was like, man, when Mick left, I'm gonna.
So how'd you find out?
Well, we were joking about this. Me and Keith and Jaren, we were sitting down that one day in the locker room.
So you, Keith Williams, and Jaren Cumberland were all sitting down.
We were joking. So
Okay.
yeah, so we saw the picture on Twitter. Somebody Photoshop Mick head in a conference meeting room or whatever, where he was sitting down, and then we were like, what if Mick go to UCLA and leave us here? And Jaren was like, man, that's not gonna happen. I just talked to Mick. Boom. 10 minutes later, we have meeting. Everybody in the film room. So we got in the film room. Mick started like saying like, oh, he's sorry. He's not supposed to do this. He's not supposed to do that. Whatever. He's leaving guys behind. He doesn't want to coach anybody else other than us or whatever. Like, and then he started crying. And then, man, everybody started crying. Man, I'm like, damn, like. This is my bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this is tough, Like I start thinking about like the last 2 years, like all this yelling. Like you put him in a treadmill more than anybody. You put a treadmill like in 10 mile or 11 mile per hour, like let it run first and tell me to jump on it for 5 minutes. I'm like, ha. I said, get back on the defense. I'm getting back on the defense now. I'm like, man, Mick, what are you trying to teach me? Please let me know what you want me to do, and I will do it.
But yet you're crying in this meeting.
Yes, I was crying. Like I felt bad for like, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I don't know why I was crying, but I was crying. I don't know why.
So was everybody's reaction? All the players were like, we can't believe this. Was anybody, and I've actually, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody about that meeting, any of the players. Was anybody like pissed at Mick and say anything to Mick about leaving? Like, how can you leave us?
Yeah, I would say some people were mad, but nobody said anything. I think Jaren was pretty mad because he got Jaren to come back, because Jaren didn't want to come back. Trey was mad. Trey said, he spent 4 years here. Trey was mad because Trey said he spent 4 years in a school. But he was. I mean, a lot of people were mad. Elio was mad because after NCAA tournament, he got concussion. Because because the game, like NCAA game, he played Elio, and then I think something happened. Or somebody scoring on Elio, the first time he get in, Mick take a time out. Man, you the reason why we losing. I mean,
He ripped him.
Yeah, he ripped him. So he was mentally not there anymore. And then after we lost the game, he went to hit his head on the wall. Yeah, like more than, I would say, 20 times. I thought he was gonna die.
Jesus.
Ken Broom was
I've never heard about this.
Yeah, Ken Broom was sitting next to him. I was like, man, Ken Broom, get him not to hit his head on the wall. Ken Broom, like, she's sitting there, look at, with the towel on, look at earlier like that. I'm like, bro, this guy crazy. So I went to stop him. And then Bob and all those people came down, and they took him to the backside. So they tell Elio, open your phone so we can call your family and tell them you're not gonna travel with the team, so you're gonna go straight to a hospital. that man had a concussion, like really bad. That if his phone screen is like this, right, and he's trying to put the passcode in here. He got his phone like this. He's trying to put the passcode in the back of his thing. But that was pretty rough. So he was mad about that. I was mad about me not playing the way I want to play, and then now he's leaving.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, everybody got his thing going. And a lot of people were happy as well because they think they can get, more freedom of doing what they can do. But it's not about freedom anymore. It's about winning.
Yeah. So Mick leaves, and then this is your sophomore year, 2019, 2020. They announced, John Brannon is the new head coach. And you played for John for 2 years. I'm sorry.
2 years.
At the beginning, I said
1 year.
You played 1 year. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But played 2 years for John Brannon. But your first year playing for John Brannon, 2019, you guys finished 20-10. That was the year that when you guys were on the way to Texas for the conference tournament, the pandemic started, and you guys had to turn around and come home. You were all the way in Texas.
Yes, we were.
Getting ready for the tournament and had to come home for the conference, correct?
Yes.
How wild were you guys like, what the hell is going on?
That was wild, for sure. Yeah, that was like something we never thought about that's going to happen. Especially like something like that around this time. I was like, we could play at least 3 days. That's it.
Yeah.
3 days, we all go home. Let us isolate. But since we saw on the news that Ivy Leagues, like, they got shut down. Yeah. Everybody was like, man, we got no chance anymore. So we gotta go home. Yeah. But we still had hope. Honestly, when we were on the plane, we were like, maybe we won't come back. But
I think a lot of people, it was such a confusing time because, here in America, we've never dealt with anything like that. I don't think we were properly prepared to deal with that.
Yeah.
And, sports, it's so interesting, Mamoudou, that sports is such a, microcosm of society and life, and how we often look at sports so much for life lessons and just everything. And when sports were getting shut down, I think people were like, yo, this is serious. Even though doctors and everyone's on TV going, this is serious.
Yeah.
But then when sports are shut down, it's like, whoa, wait.
Yeah, definitely.
This is $1 billion business that's shutting down. But okay, so, and I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but Coach Brannon, and obviously we're going to get to the next season and talk about what happened. But your first year with Coach Brannon, what was that like? Did you enjoy playing for Coach? Just give me your honest thoughts.
Yeah. So with Coach Brannon, I was, like I said, I was ready about to leave. Coach Brannon got to Cincinnati. I had a meeting with him, and it was like, man, I got playing for you. I watch your game. I know you haven't played your game this past couple of years or whatever. I got playing for you. So now you're going to feel my style. I'm going to play at this position. You're going to be good. You're going to shine. We're all going to win. I'm like, okay, cool. So, I didn't, I love Cincinnati. I wanted to, keep myself around here for a while. I graduate here maybe. But I enjoy playing for Brandon. And at the first, I'm like, damn, this guy crazy. His workout is hard. Because from Mick, you literally, like I was telling people before, when I used to get mad at Mick, practice will be 3 p.m. I would walk in the gym at 2:58, and then I'm not prepared or anything. I'm eating bad or whatever. Because I was mad. I wasn't, I wasn't trying to be there, but I was just being there just to finish up the year or whatever. And I could have practiced. I could have literally practiced with the guys and don't get tired at all. But with Brandon, you have to get ready for a day to practice for the next day. So if you practice tomorrow 3 p.m., you got to make sure you drink a lot of water today, get a lot of fluid, make sure you sleep pretty good, and wake up. When you wake up, you got to make sure you get stretched and all that before you get to the practice. And that's why, at the beginning, it was hard for everybody, but I got used to it. The first practice, this is a funny story. The first ever workout with him, he got me working out with him, one-on-one workout. So I was working out. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy is not gonna show me anything that I never see before. I've been playing basketball for so long. He got me dribbling, two ball handling dribble. So I started doing warm up. Like, you go hard, go hard. I'm going hard. Man, my shoulder, my hand started becoming a little numb. I'm like, well, you're gonna give me a little break to jump on the next drill. We went from that. We do Mikey's. I'm doing Mikey's. I'm like, good. And then boom, let's go on a 3-point line. Catch a 3-point line, rip through. Somebody's pushing me from the 3-point line. I'm driving the ball, dunk, everything dunk. Go to the other side, dunk 10 times. So from that, I took 5 free throws. I'm like, gosh, I'm like, and then it got me doing another drill. That really got me. Like, I'm like, man, I haven't played basketball since Mick got fired. I can't keep up with this. I literally just stopped. Like, I was like, man, I'm gassed. I can't pass this thing. You got me pounding a ball in the backboard, a crab dribble, dunk to the side, and then do the same thing and dunk to the other side 10 times. I gotta do that twice. So the guy I was with, Lacour, I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah, he left out.
He left out.
Yeah.
So I was with him. I'm dunking the ball. He's not dunking the ball. So it's going easy. I'm going hard. I'm like, man, I'm getting tired, man. Like, this is crazy. So I told him, I'm like, yo, I'm out of shape. Like, I'm literally like out of shape right now. And I got sickle cell. I got sickle cell trait. So I'm like, usually if I'm tired, I need to like have 30-second or 45-second break to get myself going again.
You've had that your whole...
My whole time, whole career. I didn't know of, like Prince did his hard thing. I didn't know of mine. But, in conditioning and stuff like that, like I'm supposed to go to my own pace and stuff. But I never went to my own pace because I like to go with other guys. So from that, I almost passed. Man, I need to oxygen or whatever. So I got some oxygen. I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, coach, like, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm done, man. I'm done.
What did he say?
It was cool. I mean, he was cool with it. He was like, yo, if you're tired, it's okay, like. So I walk away, I sit down, and everything was good. The week later, I was in better shape than anybody on the team. So
wow.
Yeah, I started running a lot, and I told him, like, I just need a couple of days. I can't just jump on things, like, because my shoulder was dead already. Like my back was start getting tired, my leg was. I'm like, man, I know myself, like. If I push harder than this, I might cause myself some other things. But
do you feel like the that first year with Coach Brandon, do you feel like the other players reacted well to him and just how tough the practices were in terms of, like you said, with conditioning and all that stuff? Were there a lot of players the first year that were like, yo, I can't play for this guy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, new things is like hard for everybody. Not even basketball, like
because it was vastly different than what Mick Cronin had done the year prior.
Yes. Especially like you said, like like that year it was really hard because this was new to everybody and we didn't know what was coming. So if you don't know what is coming, it's hard to like even get used to it.
Yeah.
And with him, it was focused on defense more than offense most of the time in the practice. So in the practice started with like you say, 70% defense. And then I mean I used to like it because I used to be like, okay, well, I got long legs, I got speed or whatever, and the way you want a 4-man or 5-man to play, like, I think I'm not thinking against all the big men, but I think like if I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, if this guy don't get tired, I won't get tired.
Yeah.
But it was hard for everybody. It was hard for everybody. Some people take it as like, yo, I'm gonna enjoy this and get through it and then get what I need to get done and we're gonna win or whatever. Some people were like, man, I'm not used to this. I want the ball. I want to play more. I want to do this. I want to do that. But that's not how you want to see his thing to work.
Why did Coach Brandon, if you feel comfortable elaborating on this, but why did Coach Brandon and Jaron bump heads that year, you think?
Well, Jaron is so used to like Mick, Jaren is used to like iso ball, right?
Yeah.
Like Mick run plays like where two big screen for him, he do go for to double screen and catch a ball. Another big from the opposite side go screen for him, and Jaren use the screen. And if he can't use it, you take all his time and beat the guy. He's bigger than everybody. He's like that's his game. And Jaren used to one-on-one games, but Brandon see Jaren as playmaker. Because Jaren is a really good passer as well.
Yeah,
so
he is.
Jaren, Brandon want to use him, to get everybody involved and get everybody around him better. But Jaren, for him, like he was young. Like he was like, okay, well, I'm a scorer. Like I scored like all these points in high school. I scored all these points last year. I'm a top scorer. I'm Jaren. I gotta do the same thing this year. And Brandon was like, no, that's not how it works. You gotta go with everybody, and practice was hard as well. For Jaren, like guards, like I was like, man, guards are doing a lot. We do a lot too as a big, but guards, like you gotta guard full court. Like we press every time, every day we press. Like you got somebody guarding you like literally for 2 hours. For Jaren, he's got injury and whatever, and whenever he got injury, people think it's just like trying not to play and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of like things like that. Brandon think is Jaren is giving excuse. Jaren think Brandon is going too hard for his own reason and stuff like that. So they never got to understand each other. But I think that was it, to be honest.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining that. I'm sure a lot of the Bearcat fans have always wondered that.
Yeah.
So I want to jump into the 2020-2021 season. I guess you'd call this the official pandemic season, because really the pandemic only affected last year, the conference tournament. But now that I don't even know what space we're in now for like out of the pandemic or what it is now. But as I reflect on that time period, Mamoudou, I think it was so tough for a lot of people. And it's going to be years before we see how it's really affected a lot of, like there are going to be a lot of young people, I think, from an education standpoint. Mental health we see is a big topic. I even see with my parents, I feel, who are older parents, I think the pandemic really affected them and aged them quite a bit. So I can't imagine what it was like for you guys, being that, let's be honest, you guys are there to play hoops and be students, enjoy, life as a student, but, you're kind of like isolated, and it was tough. Talk about the challenges that you faced during that season. Because you opted out after 3 games.
I did. Part of it, I would say 80% was because of COVID. And the other 20 was because of like the way I felt like the things was going, and then I didn't like the way things were going, because it wasn't fair anymore. I would say it was something like, okay, this guy want to do this, then he gonna do it, for his own reason. But for me, COVID was like for most of my teammates, COVID affected me a lot. So especially having a newborn. So by then I had a newborn. I would say I was worried, but at the same time I was like, okay, well, I think everybody else like worried too. But what can we do to play and win a couple games? So it was hard. I had to, like, I don't want to say this in here, but I have to go see somebody, like, to talk to that person, because I was mentally like really not here anymore. I was like, man, like, I think I'm gonna be done with playing basketball forever. Like, not just for UC, or forever. I'm gonna be done, because I'm like, okay, for the past 6-7 years, like, I'm being bouncing around, I'm being trained like this. I'm not playing the way I want to play. Like, this is not me, Like, I'm losing my identity. I'm losing my even emotion. I'm acting like somebody else. Like, I'm talking to this guy the way you want me to talk to him, instead of me talking the way I want to talk to, to him. I would say the COVID really exposed me. Basically, I would say the COVID exposed like a lot of my weaknesses, and like the COVID pushed me to like tell people like, like what is wrong, what is like, or what is like not okay with me. You know what I'm saying? So I went to talk to this lady. She was very helpful. UC, she helped me like, get through all these things, and she told me like if I want to keep playing or like, if I want to stop, I can't stop or whatever. So at that time, the best thing for me to do was to stop. To take a day off basketball court. To focus on myself, because like I had some family issue as well back then. That my family thought, oh yeah, you don't call us no more, you don't talk to us. Like they didn't understand that I was in a season trying to play for trying to fight for a playing time, trying to do all these things, focus on the school, so I don't fail my classes. I gotta graduate. I'm a senior. I got all these things going on, and they were like, man, you don't call us no more. Like, they don't understand. So I had to take time to explain each one of them what is going on. So I'm like, okay, well, let me help out and like make sure my family back home and me are in the same page first. And then I gotta take care of my own health, and then I gotta get back to basketball if I have to. But I helped out. That was the best thing I did for sure. And COVID affected me a lot.
So when you opted out after 3 games, that's what you were doing, trying to get your mental health back together, get reconnected back with your family, take care of your newborn.
Yes.
So get a lot of life things in order. And I think not only you, Mamoudou, but I think there were other guys on the team, and you can attest to this, that were going through stuff. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people that opted out and during that season, and it was going on all over the country. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people were exposed to their weaknesses.
Yes.
Which I don't think is a bad thing, because you look at David DeJulius and you look at where he is now, which I think he's in a very good space now.
Yes.
I feel like he's a great leader. He's playing his best basketball. He's back for another season. But that 2020, 2021 season, he was in a tough space.
Yeah, they were all. I mean, I used to talk to almost all of them.
Yeah.
When I was opting out, a lot of guys when I opt out, I said, man, you can't opt out, man. The whole team when I opt out, like they called me, Mamoudou, man, you gotta come back, bro. I'm like, okay, well, because like that's the only reason why I got to recording music with the guy, so they can have like some kind of like freedom. Yes.
Now that's interesting.
Yes, to speak their mind and to have like some fun other than
therapy.
Yes, other than being like stuck in the room or whatever. They should come to my place. I mean, like I forgot to tell you, Dave got a song as well, Dave the Julius.
Really?
Yes. So I used to be the guy like that used to like get all them together and make them speak their mind through music or whatever. Or Trey did, Jeremiah did. Jeremiah was struggling. I mean, he took a layoff and he hurt his knee or whatever. And nobody was guarding him.
Yeah.
So I had a mic. I had a music studio going, and I tell him,
let's drop these lyrics, man.
Listen, come to the studio and make a song. I got you. And I started doing that, and then that music helped me too. Relax my mind a little bit, and then get to forget about what is going on. Like I have a kid, and I have this, I have that. Just get in a different space. But with the freshmen, I would say the freshmen had like. So it's like me coming all over from Africa to here. So that was the same experience with the freshmen. They were coming here in college expecting to have fun. And they're here with the COVID going on. They're in the room, going to the gym, come back, practice is hard. Like all they think about in their bed, like, man, what tomorrow practice is gonna be? Practice is hard tomorrow, man. Like, man. Like we got guys that have panic attack, like before practice. Like that's that's being scared of what is really happening.
Yeah. So I see the picture you're painting. I mean, like you said, a lot of these, young men are coming to have fun. College should be a fun experience, right? You're gonna have your trials and tribulations, but the large percentage of that pie should be an exciting time in your life, right? And you're locked in a room. You're not getting that fun experience, and then you've got anxiety about going to a practice where it's about to be hell for the next 3 hours or whatever it is. And you put all that together. So let me ask you this. So I now that you open this up, I do want to dive. Do you think if the pandemic did not happen, right, and there was that experience where you guys could go out, hang out, party, do all this and that, and be able to have stress relievers, do you think things would have been different that 2020, 2021 season? Because obviously, Coach Brandon ends up getting fired.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think it was going to head that direction anyway, or do you think things would have ended up differently if the pandemic didn't come about?
Yeah, a lot of things happened to the program, during COVID pandemic. I would say that, the coaches could not avoid, because coaches got his own thing going on as well. Like
his father died.
He's talk about, like how stressful, like how stressed he is. He doesn't sleep. He always like up or whatever. Like things happen, so he wasn't focused on hitting up guys. Hey, how you doing, man? How's your family?
He was dealing with things.
He was dealing with his own things. So for me, I never had a problem with the coach, like for practicing being hard or whatever. I had a problem with him because I would say that right now. You know that too. Because when my girlfriend was, my fiance at that time was pregnant, right? And then I'm a senior. So he was treating me like, I was sophomore, I was a junior or whatever. But he got Keith Williams, in a single apartment. He got Chris Volk in a single apartment. Like Rob or Rap, that came from Colgate. Like, I've been here for 5 years, for 4 years, I'm not in a single room. And then he was trying to take me from living with Jevin to put him in with the 3 other guys. And my fiance is like pregnant. I gotta help her somehow. So I went to him. I'm like, yo, coach, like I need to be in a single bedroom because I have a daughter. I'm gonna have a kid pretty soon. So I need to be living with my family instead of my fiance pay for a rent and then me paying for my own rent, and I have to go stay over there to help out with the baby because, like, everybody need help, right? That man said no,
Yeah.
He said no, and that really hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm practicing hard as hell for you. I'm helping guys, like, not quitting. I'm helping guys, like, staying in a good mindset. I'm doing things behind the scene that you never knew about. And then you say no to this, like I can't trust you no more. I can't.
Back to that trust issues that you have.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, those were a thing. But after I try to explain to him, like, yo, like, I really need this, like, and I'm not mad at him. Even now, like, he texts me. We text or whatever.
You still text with Coach Brandon?
Yes, we text, and like, I'm mad about that. Because I thought, we were better than that. I thought we were, like, we always say in the huddle, family. This is real family stuff. So if you can't help me with this, we're not family.
Yeah.
We're not even friends.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, if this is the case, like, I'm going to join the other guys. Like, they're mad. I'm not going to be on their side, but I don't know anything. I'm cool with anything that happened. If they want to leave, I would not tell them to stay. So that was my thing. But other than that, I think I was cool, man. I was cool with hard practice because I knew, like, when I first landed here in America, I know what I was here for. So, like, for me to, like, say, oh, practice is hard, this is hard, like, that's disrespecting my family back home.
Yeah. When Coach Brandon was fired, how did you feel? And were you shocked?
Well, honestly, I wasn't shocked because I know, like, little thing were hiding up, like Brandon is not like Mick. He doesn't yell at people. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. But there was a little thing adding up every day, and it become big and explode. So that was the thing with Brandon, and I would say like I was not shocked because I knew like if you got like you recruit 7 guys to come in school and all those 7 guys want to leave, like it's hard. It's hard for anybody. Let's not even think about AD. Like that's this is how I see things most of the time. I put myself in other people's shoes, right? So if I'm trying to judge Brandon, I gotta put my shoes in Brandon's shoes and see like if I'm him, like what would I do? Like for me, like he didn't play me a lot of games the way I wanna play, but I'm like, well, if I was a coach and then I wanna win with this type of thing or whatever, like what would I do? I would not play you either. So that's how I was thinking most of the time. But most of the time, like he wanted to play 4 men. Trey was playing almost the first year. Trey was playing almost 40 minutes. So for me to play, I have to play 5 or I won't play.
Yeah.
So you play me 5. I'm like, okay, well, I'm cool with 4 or 5. If Trey get in foul trouble or whatever, you play me. But the next year, the senior year, which I opt out, I was like, this is my year. Like Trey's not here. I'm better enough to start. I'm here. Like who else is gonna start over me? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying this because of podcasts. Like I was working harder than anybody in that facility and that building. My last 4 years, I don't think like anybody outworked me. I work hard. On the game day, I don't play. Ask why. Wait for your time. What time? I'm a senior. There is no time.
You don't have much time left.
There is not much time. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then the day I opted out, I remember, I had a lot of things going on that I was dealing with, and I was trying to stay around the basketball just because, like, I want to help out. I wanted to like get other guys like, to stay involved or whatever. And then, the day, Rap left or something like that. And it start Tari Easton, That I'm not gonna lie. Tari is my guy. I love him, but that hurt me, and that was the reason. When I heard my reason why, that was the reason why I really like stay. Okay, yeah, this basketball thing is not for me. I gotta step away, like right now, because in that time I was doing good. I was doing very good in the practice and everything, but imagine practicing at 4. And in the game time, you play at 5. You're not gonna do anything. And that was always my problem. And I talked to them, man. You gotta learn 5. Then why you don't play me at 4? Why you play me at 5 and 4?
Right.
And then it's just crazy, man.
Well, I do want to talk about some definitely positive things and some good times. I think. You transferred to Tennessee Tech. Did you enjoy your experience there?
Yeah, Tennessee Tech was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Pelfrey?
Pelfrey is a really good guy. Tennessee Tech was actually really good because I had to do what I can do. I was playing free. Everything was good until, those guys, I'm like I say, I don't just speak or say stuff to say stuff. Like these guys, they didn't want to be in there. My teammates didn't want to be in there. So when I first got there, like I started knowing the vibe because like last year they won like 5 games. So I'm like, how they won 5 games the whole year? Like, there is no way. The way like the team is, like I went down there the first practice. I'm like, yo, these guys are good. Like, but why are we not winning? But this guy got their own like objective. They want to go to D1 high major.
Yeah.
So for that, they're playing AU.
They're doing their own thing.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So they're playing AU ball,
Yeah, not team ball.
Yeah. So
sure.
they're doing their own thing, trying to get their stats up, just so they can go to big level. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if that's the case, we're not gonna win. But honestly, I enjoy my time in there, and then those guys were like really, really great.
So let's talk about the game where you guys came to the University of Cincinnati to play the Bearcats. And I would tell you this. So I remember sometimes we have, the Bearcats have games that, if there's not a big star on the team or it's not a big time name, sometimes the fans don't care. and no offense, but Tennessee Tech just isn't a name that excites a lot of fans. But fans were excited for this game because you were coming back. And like I said, you're such a fan favorite. What was that like for you to come back and play on the court wearing a different purple and gold, right?
Yeah, purple and gold.
Purple and gold? Wearing purple and gold.
I ain't gonna lie, it was weird. It was weird.
How would you describe, for the Bearcat fans that are listening to this podcast, how would you describe, Bearcat fans? Like if you were to tell your Tennessee Tech teammates, like, all right, we're going to Fifth Third. These fans are.
Yeah, I tell them before we get on the bus, we travel on the bus. I tell them, man, like, you guys, please be calm, because Bearcat fans, like, they're crazy, man. They're gonna be screaming so loud you won't even hear yourself talking. You know?
Were your teammates surprised at how much love you got?
They were like, wow, this is crazy. But they wasn't actually too shocked of it, because like, they like they actually, some of them like actually knew some of the players from Cincinnati, and they watched a couple of games before. Okay. So they watched like crosstown shootout, and they were like, man, like, like this is crazy, because we had a guy from Xavier on our team
who transferred to Tennessee Tech.
Yes, so he was always talk about like how like Cincinnati fans are like
crazy,
like crazy. They loud, they supportive and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, so that was something.
Yeah. Sure. Well, and I will say this, Mamoudou, there's something about wearing the Bearcat uniform, giving your blood, sweat, and tears. Like I always feel like, even though you went to Tennessee Tech, you'll always be a Bearcat. I think Bearcat fans will always look at you as like a Bearcat. I think 5-10 years from now, people will forget you even went to Tennessee Tech, and Bearcat fans will always look at you as like, oh, you were here the whole time.
For sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
You're a Bearcat, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of close things up here shortly, and I have some quick questions, quick answers game that I want to do with you. But for the Bearcat fans out there, do you remember when I came to practice and we had a shooting contest?
I think I won. Who won that?
Fake news.
Who won that? That was tie game, right?
I won. I have the video.
You did?
It came down, so we did 5-spot shooting.
I tried to block your shot.
And you tried to block it, and I made it.
Oh, man.
And I made the last one. It was tied.
Man, yeah, I remember now.
I'm going to have to.
We gotta run it back.
No, we don't. No.
Hey, back then, my shooting form wasn't too good. I didn't follow through a lot.
Yeah, you definitely improved your shooting from the time that we had a shooting contest. But you actually challenged me. I came to a practice. I was shooting around after, and you were like, "Hey, let's do this." And I was like, "Dude,
I got you, man.
You don't want this smoke." All right, let's jump into these quick questions, quick answers. So I got 4 questions for you. Okay. The first one is, and I asked, I started doing this. I don't know how many podcasts ago. You obviously listened to them. So, MJ or MJ? Okay, is the question. Mm-hmm. And for those out there that may be new to listen to the podcast, the question is this: would you rather be MJ or MJ? MJ meaning Michael Jordan, or MJ Michael Jackson? And when I say that, I say imagine both of them in their prime. Michael Jordan is winning 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls, biggest global sports star in the world. Michael Jackson is the biggest entertainer in the world. Mm-hmm. Concerts all over the world sold out. People are fainting in the crowd. Who would you rather be in their prime, MJ or MJ?
Man, that's kind of.
I'm interested.
That's kind of
coming
tough.
from Africa. I want to know your.
Yeah, I would definitely say Michael Jackson.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would say that just because I started knowing Michael Jackson before I started knowing
I could see
Michael
that.
Jordan.
I could totally see that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I say, my uncles and the aunts and stuff like that, all they do is like play American music and stuff. And they had a whole like CD of, Michael Jackson's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had like this Halloween like song he was playing. That's actually the first song like they used to get me to sit down to used to scare me off that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
With that video and yeah, that's
The Thriller? You talking about the Thriller song?
The
Yeah.
Thriller song. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was his biggest album ever, yeah.
yeah. So that's Michael Jackson.
And that was the thing. I first learned this. So when Michael Jackson was at his height and his prime, and he was doing these concerts all over the world, I remember my mom and dad. We'd watch some things on TV, and there'd be 80,000 people in the crowd, and Michael Jackson would be singing his songs, and the people in the crowd would be singing right along. And I'd say to my mom, like, wait a minute, where are they? And they would say whatever country. I'm like, how do they know the lyrics to this? That was so confusing to me at a young age.
Yeah.
But he was going everywhere in the world, and people who didn't speak English knew the words to the song. That's unreal.
That's how powerful it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like even the fact that like I got one song. It's like just about us. Where like the wind and kill like all the elephants. People kill all the elephants and stuff like that. And they all come back up.
Yeah.
Those songs like people love those in Africa.
I bet.
It make them feel like they coming back to life again, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I can see the cultural attachment to Michael Jackson in Africa for sure. Second question, most memorable game as a Bearcat?
That's easy. I would say Temple game. The last game we played against Temple before heading to Texas, but COVID everything shut down.
Yeah.
That game, man, I was so happy. I got to play a couple of minutes.
You doing your thing.
And then, I was getting comfortable in there for sure. So, and then we won that game in the last minute where I think Trey, hit that putback. That was a pretty good game. In that game, I still remember that, like.
It was.
On our, defense, on ice defense, we call ice. So I was on the side.
Was that senior night?
Senior night.
Because, like, Trey didn't play well that game, did he?
Trey didn't.
He didn't play well.
He didn't play well at all.
Until he got the tipping, right, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah.
And I was very happy that day. Chris Vogt trying to be, like, looking cool or whatever. So he put that long sleeve on. And then the referee was like, man, he can't play with that. You got to take that out. So he went to the locker room. By the time he come back, Brandon was like, Mamoudou, get in. I'm like, thank God, man.
That gave you an opportunity.
Yes. I'm like, thank God. So I played that game. I played pretty good. The game was pretty good. Very intense, loud, and I could feel the energy like crazy. So the thing I remember in that game that really stuck to me was like the floor was shaking. Somehow the floor was like shaking. I had a goosebump. And then we were on defense, so I was icing with Javen, I believe. So I was like, ice. And on a video where after a game, the next day we watched a film, I was calling ice because when you don't say ice or when you don't, execute the right way, the next day you're going to run or flip tire in the practice. So we had a video when the coach was like, man, you didn't call ice. You can see my teeth moving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, this is great, So,
right.
So that was part I remember like from a game, and that was like, me and Coach Brennan talk about that and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is great. This is gonna be a good memory for me for a long time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
First time winning argument with him.
All right. So my third question is, and I asked this question because today I was downtown at City Hall, and I was meeting with the vice mayor of Cincinnati, working on a project with another gentleman for the city. And I'm in the vice mayor's office, and she's got a giant picture of her and Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. Oh. And I was like, I want to meet I want to meet Michelle and Barack Obama one day.
Yeah.
And she was like, really? She's like, oh, I wish I would have known that. When they were in town, I would have introduced you. I'm like, man, she's making it sound like it's like super simple. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
you need to make sure that happens. She's like, well, who else do you want to meet? And I was like, man, I want to meet Mike Tyson one day. Stevie Wonder's my favorite, artist of all time. I'd like to meet Stevie Wonder. So my question for you is, who is the one person that you want to meet? Like, you're fascinated to meet.
Man, life or death? Life or death?
Let's do living.
Living. The one person that's living right now that I really want to meet, sports or not sports?
Be anybody.
Anybody. Man, I would definitely say, this will sound weird when I say it, but I want to meet Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, I want to meet Kareem. Just because I like how he mastered like only 3 moves and play with that 3 move his whole life. I just want to know why, like how he did that.
Yeah. I mean, people say that there's been 2 unstoppable moves in basketball history. The first is the skyhook, Kareem skyhook. Mm-hmm. The second is the fadeaway.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. But definitely the skyhook, man. You watch those old videos of Kareem, or Big Cap, as they call him, Big Cap. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like, nobody was touching that. Like, not even. And go reach out to your boy Mick. Mick's always taking pictures with Kareem, Big Cap.
I gotta hit him up.
You might have to hit him up.
I gotta hit him up.
They say, hey Mick, you owe me for playing me at 5. So have
man, you gonna like Bob said, you gonna MF me.
Probably would. So you're Kareem. Real quick, Stu Holt. I know you don't have a mic, but just yell it out to me. If you can meet one person, who would it be? Alive. See, this has got to be. Come on now. You don't know. Oh, you're taking too long. See, Cruzy. Oh man, this should be. I always thought people had this. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys think about it. Next podcast, we'll dive into it. My 4th and final question for you, Mamoudou. During your time as a Cincinnati Bearcat, think about all the teammates you had. Okay. If you could pick one teammate that you want to take with you, okay, and wherever you go in the world, that teammate's going to be by your side. And if you got to go to battle and you got to take one person, what teammate are you taking with you? Man. I feel like I know I'm going to write down what I think your answer is going to be.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to see if I got it right.
I said one of my teammates all the time?
During your time as a Bearcat.
Okay, during my time.
If you could pick one teammate that you'd say, if I'm going to battle,
I'm going with that person.
He's coming with me. I'm going to see if I'm right.
Man, the toughest guy that I actually play with, and then that gave me trouble.
He got you in trouble?
Now, that gave me got me thinking in the practice, man, this guy's. Man, I would say Kyle Washington.
Oh, that's a good one. I should have wrote that down. I put Trey Scott.
Trey would be a second one for sure.
Yeah. Okay, but Kyle's good. I like Kyle. That's a good answer.
Kyle, yeah. When I first got in college, man, Kyle used to be. I'm like, I used to look at Kyle and his arm. I'm like, yo.
Big, strong, smart.
I'm like, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Kyle, and when he's hook shotting and stuff like that, it was unguardable.
That crazy old hook. I don't know what kind of spin that thing had on.
They sit down and make a homework of Kyle, like maybe jam before he jam, so you can block him or something.
Yeah.
Kyle is tough. It's really tough. I like Kyle a lot.
Yeah. Well, Mamoudou, listen, I want to thank you for coming here, coming on the podcast. This definitely was a great. So usually, we dive into people's story and we talk a lot about basketball. But what I loved about our interview is we talked about Africa and what it was like growing up there, and then I like your being transparent about what happened during the time with Coach Brandon and dealing with mental health stuff, the pandemic, and you're very transparent about that, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure the Bearcat fans will as well.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, no.
I was the one that's blessed to be here for sure.
Oh, thank you, man.
Like I tell you in a text message, like.
Yeah, for sure you did.
I'm blessed, for real.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You'll always be a Bearcat, so.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get you to some Bearcat basketball games this coming season.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Bearcat fans would love to see you.
For sure. Yeah, I would definitely love to go to some of the games and cheer. Maybe be in the student section and cheer for my guy. I still got some guys in there that
for sure.
Talk to for sure. And
for sure, DeJulius and
I would like to see them win for sure.
Yeah, no question. Well, listen, thank you, and definitely, maybe sometime during the basketball season, we'll get you in. We'll kind of analyze the Bearcats and talk about what's going on.
Sounds good.
We'll do that.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, sounds good. Well, once again, I want to thank all the Bearcat fans for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. Go Bearcats!